Welcome back, movie lovers. Today, we're diving into the captivating world of the Nutty Professor, where Eddie Murphy masterfully transforms from the lovable, overweight Professor Sherman Klump to the charismatic Buddy Love. This film is a roller coaster of transformations, life-changing experiments, and heartfelt moments. Stick around to uncover the twists and turns of Sherman's quest for love and acceptance. So without wasting any time, let's dive in. New to the channel? Hit that subscribe button. We bring you amazing movies with detailed explanation, which you won't want to miss out. At the beginning of the movie, we meet Sherman Klump, an overweight and clumsy professor. Everyone likes him, but his clumsiness often lands him in trouble. One day at William College, he discovers that over 5,000 hamsters have somehow gotten loose on campus. The situation escalates as the hamsters start getting into people's pants, causing chaos. These hamsters are lab animals that were accidentally released the previous day. After some investigation, it turns out that Sherman accidentally pressed a button that opened their cage. Realizing the problem, Sherman tries to fix it. He then went to his favorite hamster, Shally, who is also overweight like him. Sherman and his team are working on a formula to alter the DNA of overweight individuals to help them lose weight quickly. They test the formula on Shally, and she loses 85 grams, proving the formula's effectiveness. Sherman's assistant, Jason, suggests giving Shally a higher dose, but Sherman warns that it could be dangerous for her. Later, the college dean calls Sherman to discuss the hamster incident. The dean is very upset, explaining that the science department lost a lot of funding because of it. Now, their only potential donor is Harlan Hartley, a big science enthusiast. The dean managed to convince Harlan to donate $10 million to the college. He warns Sherman to be very careful with his experiments because they can't afford to lose Harlan's funding, and if anything goes wrong, Sherman might lose his job. The next day, Sherman is teaching a class. He's writing equations on the chalkboard, but his large belly accidentally erases the lower part of the board. The students start laughing when they notice this, and that's when Sherman realizes that his equations have been wiped away by his own belly. He feels very embarrassed. Just then, a new teacher named Miss Carla Purdy comes to meet him. Miss Carla introduces herself to Sherman, explaining that she's a science student and is teaching her first chemistry class across the hall. She tells Sherman that she's a huge fan of his, has always wanted to meet him, and greatly admires his work. This makes Sherman very happy, and he is charmed by Miss Carla's beauty and kindness. Later that day, Sherman has dinner with his family. Everyone in his family is overweight, including his father, mother, brother, nephew, and grandmother. Sherman realizes that his obesity is genetic. While he feels unhappy about his weight, his father is quite content with being overweight. To his father, being overweight is a good thing and a sign of being healthy. Seeing Sherman down, his brother suggests that he should work out to feel better, but his father dismisses this, saying Sherman can do anything but lose weight. Sherman's family is quite peculiar. They eat messily and argue a lot. His father has a bad habit of farting loudly at the dinner table and ends up soiling his pants, leaving the room to change. Sherman feels very embarrassed by his father's behavior and gets up to leave, feeling upset. Just then, his mother stops him and tells him that God made him just right. She assures him that he has a pure and beautiful heart, which makes him a good person. She encourages him to believe in himself, saying he can achieve anything he sets his mind to. Hearing all this, Sherman gets motivated and goes to Carla's house to ask her out on a date. He knocks on her door, and when Carla opens it, he gets nervous and starts making small talk. Carla quickly catches on and asks, "Are you here to ask me out on a date?" Sherman feels a bit embarrassed, but Carla tells him she'd love to go out with him. They plan to go to a club called The Scream on Friday night. Sherman can't believe it and starts dancing with joy. When he gets home, he's grinning from ear to ear. He's finally going on a date with the girl he likes. He dances around the house, thinking about it. Later, while watching TV, he gets lost in thoughts of Carla and dreams they're at the beach, and he kisses her, but his weight causes Carla to sink into the sand. Sherman wakes up scared. Just then, the TV host is saying, "Yes, I can, yes, I can." Hearing this, Sherman gets pumped up and starts saying, yes, I can," to motivate himself. He resolves to lose weight by any means necessary. To get fit for the date, he joins a Zumba class and starts working out, beginning to feel healthier than ever. On Friday night, Sherman and Carla go to the Scream Club. Sherman struggles to get to their reserved seat because of his weight, but manages to get there somehow. They talk a lot and have a great time. Then a comedian named Reggie comes on stage. He makes fun of people in the audience to make them laugh. When he targets Sherman, he goes too far with the insults, and everyone in the club laughs loudly. Carla doesn't like it, and Sherman starts crying after hearing Reggie's comments. He drives Carla home, and she tries to make him feel better by complimenting him, saying he shouldn't take the club's comments to heart. It was just a comedy show. Sherman thanks her and goes home. Feeling very upset about Reggie's comments, Sherman eats a lot of junk food and cries. He falls asleep while eating and dreams that doctors surround him, and he keeps getting fatter. The doctors suddenly start shouting, "Run, run, he's going to explode." Sherman grows to the size of a building, and people are running away from him in fear. Then his stomach rumbles, and he lets out a huge fart that blows things away, causing a big explosion. The nightmare wakes Sherman up. Sherman realizes that if he continues relying on diet and exercise alone, he might never lose weight. He decides to use the serum from his lab on himself. That night, Sherman goes to the lab to prepare the serum and tries it on himself. As soon as he drinks it, his blood pressure rises rapidly, and he starts having strange convulsions, causing him to pass out and fall to the floor. Meanwhile, the computer screen shows that the experiment is complete, and Sherman's body begins to shrink rapidly. When he regains consciousness, he's shocked to see his new, slim self. Overjoyed, he starts dancing. He can now easily walk down the stairs and goes back to the Zumba class to show off. He looks like a fit, young, athletic man and is thrilled. A while later, while working in the lab, Carla comes in and doesn't recognize him. She asks about Sherman, and he introduces himself as Buddy Love, claiming to be a close associate of Professor Sherman. He praises Sherman a lot and invites Carla to the Scream Club to talk more. Since he claims to be a close associate of Sherman, Carla agrees. Before Sherman can say more, his fingers start to revert to their old shape, and he quickly sends Carla out before fully transforming back. A bit later, Carla meets Sherman and tells him about Buddy Love, saying that Buddy wants to take her to the club. Sherman tells her that Buddy is a good guy and that she should go with him. That night, Buddy arrives at the club in a sports car. He orders a ton of food and eats it all, leaving Carla surprised. Then Reggie, the comedian who made fun of Sherman last time, comes on stage. Carla tells Buddy how much she hates Reggie. When Reggie starts his comedy routine, Buddy laughs loudly, irritating Reggie. Reggie tries to roast Buddy, but Buddy insults Reggie so much that everyone in the club laughs at Reggie. They have a Yo Mama joke battle on stage, and Reggie loses badly. Enraged, Reggie fights with Buddy, but Buddy beats him up, and the whole audience cheers for Buddy. Impressed, Carla kisses Buddy, but then Buddy's lower lip starts to swell and revert to its original shape. He makes an excuse about an allergy and quickly leaves. Sherman's assistant, Jason, is also at the club and sees the waiter holding Sherman's credit card. Jason asks where he got it, and the waiter points to Buddy. Jason thinks Buddy stole Sherman's credit card and chases after him. Sherman is about to leave in his car when Jason jumps in. Seeing Buddy's body inflate, Jason realizes that Buddy is actually Professor Sherman. Sherman fully reverts to his old self and gets stuck in the car due to his weight, requiring the car to be cut open to free him. The next day, Sherman arrives late to class, but instead of students, he finds the dean waiting angrily. The dean asks about the sports car that Buddy bought using science funds under Sherman's name. The dean warns Sherman that if there are any problems with Harlan's funding, he'll be in big trouble. The dean wants Sherman's serum project to impress Harlan. When Sherman gets to the lab, Jason asks why he used the serum on himself. Jason explains that the body Sherman got from the serum has very high testosterone levels and that it's taking over Sherman's personality. Jason also warns that Buddy is dangerous and nothing like Sherman. But Sherman tells Jason that he has fallen in love with Carla and hates being overweight. Later, Sherman meets Carla and she shares her feelings about Buddy, saying he seems very strange to her. Sherman tells her that he's going to have dinner with his family that night and invites her to join them. Carla joins Sherman for dinner with his family. Sherman's granny calls Carla his girlfriend, and his family members start asking Carla personal questions about her relationship with Sherman, making her very uncomfortable. Sherman tries to explain that they are just colleagues, but his family starts arguing about their potential marriage. In the midst of this, Sherman's father loudly farts, adding to Sherman's embarrassment. After dinner, Sherman apologizes to Carla for his family's behavior. Carla tells him that she can't stop thinking about Buddy and wants to see him again. Hearing this, Sherman realizes that he can only get close to Carla as Buddy. Determined, Sherman goes to the lab to use the serum again and transforms into Buddy. In the lab, Jason warns Sherman that using the serum repeatedly is dangerous and insists that Sherman stay in the lab for his own safety. However, Buddy's personality takes over, and he cleverly locks Jason in a room to keep him from interfering. Meanwhile, Carla receives flowers and a message from Buddy, apologizing and inviting her to dinner. They meet at a hotel, which happens to be where Sherman's college dean is meeting with Harlan. The dean sees Carla and asks about Sherman, explaining that Harlan wants to know about Sherman's research before deciding on funding. Carla says she doesn't know much about Sherman, but Buddy is a close associate and knows all about the research. The dean asks Buddy if he can explain Sherman's research to Harlan. Buddy confidently replies, "I can do anything. I even trained Sherman." Impressed, the dean asks Buddy to present the serum idea to Harlan. Buddy gives a captivating explanation using amusing examples about women's figures. Harlan is impressed with Buddy's presentation. The dean tells Buddy that Harlan will be at the alumni ball the next night, and if Buddy can prove the serum's effectiveness, they will secure Harlan's $10 million funding. The dean also appoints Buddy in place of Sherman. Buddy then plans a romantic night at the hotel with 3 women. Disgusted, Carla calls him a sleazebag and leaves. Buddy parties all night at his house. The next morning, Carla arrives at Sherman's place and finds everything in disarray. Buddy has turned back into Sherman and is in bed with the 3 women. Hearing Carla's voice, Sherman wakes up and panics. He makes up an excuse about his cleaning lady being on vacation and tells Carla she should leave, saying he'll meet her later. However, Carla ignores his excuses and starts talking about how awful Buddy is. She mentions that Buddy took all the credit for Sherman's research because Sherman wasn't there last night. As Carla is talking, one of the women comes out of Sherman's room and asks where Buddy is. Seeing this, Carla accuses Sherman of being involved with Buddy and sharing the women. Sherman tries to explain, but Carla angrily dismisses him and leaves. At that moment, Jason arrives and urgently tells Sherman they need to get to the college. At the college, the dean informs Sherman that he's been fired and that Buddy Love has taken his place. Feeling dejected, Sherman returns home and starts watching TV. Buddy has left a mocking message for him, saying everyone, including Carla, prefers Buddy and that Sherman is useless. Buddy taunts Sherman, suggesting he should just go to the lab and make more serum. Determined, Sherman heads to his lab and calls Jason. He tells Jason he's going to explain everything to Carla, attend the alumni party, and reclaim everything Buddy took from him. Sherman declares that Buddy will never return, throws away the serum, and instructs Jason to destroy all remaining serum. Sherman then motivates himself to lose weight through exercise and hard work. However, as he drinks a diet shake, he starts convulsing because Buddy had spiked it with the serum. Sherman transforms back into Buddy. Buddy prepares to take a large supply of the serum. Jason tries to stop him, but Buddy knocks him out. At the alumni party, Carla tells Sherman's mom about seeing him with the girls. Sherman's mom insists that no girl would go near Sherman due to his weight and suggests he probably lent his room to someone. Buddy arrives at the party and starts behaving rudely with an elderly woman. The dean scolds Buddy for keeping Harlan waiting for 3 hours and reprimands him for being late. Enraged, Buddy threatens to kill the dean if he speaks to him like that again. Jason regains consciousness and sees on the computer that Sherman's testosterone levels have skyrocketed. He rushes to the party to warn Sherman. At the party, Buddy takes the stage to explain and demonstrate the serum, boasting about his transformation. Buddy announces that he plans to take a high dose of the serum to stay this way permanently. Jason arrives and tries to stop him, but Buddy punches him away. Carla also berates Buddy. As Buddy is about to hit Jason again, his hand starts to swell. Inside, Sherman is fighting to regain control. The two personalities struggle, causing Sherman's body to alternately balloon and deflate. Finally, Sherman overcomes Buddy and returns to his original self. Sherman admits to everyone that he became selfish and used the serum without proper testing. He apologizes and starts to leave. Carla stops him and tells him she didn't like Buddy at all and prefers Sherman, no matter his size. She asks Sherman to dance. Harlan, impressed by Sherman's honesty and intelligence, grants $10 million in funding for Sherman's project. The movie ends on this positive note. So this was the end of the movie. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then hit the thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Stay tuned for more detailed explanation of movies. Thanks for watching.